Good evening. I call to order the February 2020 Mayor and City Council meeting. Ask everyone to stand as Councilman Vigliotti leads us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. Like the records reflect that everyone is present and accounted for this evening. I would like to thank Councilman Vigliotti for handling the Wednesday night workshop during my absence at the Mayor's Conference. More on that later. But again, thank you very much.
My pleasure,
I appreciate
sir.
your assistance there. Moving right into the business, we'll look at the approval of the minutes of the January 13th, 2020 regular meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
And do we have a second? Thank you. Is there any discussion, amendments, anything you don't like about the minutes from January? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
For the record,
Yes, ma'am? I'm sorry?
for the record, I opposed, I wasn't here.
Oh, very good. Would that be more of an abstention for
Okay.
January? Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Foster abstains. All right, I will ask the council if there are any conflicts of interest regarding any of the agenda items this evening.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And then moving right into our resolutions and ordinances. We have, for introduction, Ordinance 04-2020. It is a budget amendment for fiscal year 2020. I know this was discussed Wednesday night a little bit. Are there any questions before we introduce the ordinance? Mr. Weeprick, do you have anything to add to the discussion?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I will entertain a motion to introduce.
So moved?
And do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion on the introduction? All right, it's been moved and seconded to introduce Ordinance 04-2020, budget amendment for fiscal year 2020. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. Very good. Up for adoption this evening, we have Resolution 2020-02. This is our monthly water allocation, this one for February of 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And do we have a second?
Second? Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2020-02 water allocation. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Very good. All right, we'll turn to Mr. Weeprick. Do you have anything to add for your city manager report?
Nothing additional, thank you.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Weeprick regarding his report or any of the departmental reports?
No, sir.
All right, we shall move on to Mr. Gullo. Do you have anything for legal report?
Nothing additional.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Gullo regarding his legal report from Wednesday night or what you received prior to?
No, sir.
Very good. I appreciate that. All right, we have nothing in old business, but new business comes quickly. We have first off our monthly financial report. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the monthly financial report. Is there any discussion on said report?
No, sir.
Very good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed may say nay. Very good. Shall look for the same for the accounts payable. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a
Second.
second? Very good. It's been moved and seconded to approve the accounts payable. Any discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Thank you very much. Next, under new business, is declaration of surplus property regarding the location of Westview Drive, or the mislocation of Westview Drive, authorization of public notice. As we understand from Wednesday night, the description is we're simply asking the council to approve that we notify the public of our intention to declare the original location of Westview Drive as surplus property.
Is that by consent, or do we have to have a motion and vote
It
on?
must be a motion.
I make a motion to do so.
All right, may I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the notification of the public for declaration of surplus property regarding Westview Drive. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Very good. Moving into the Ballinger Park engineering proposal. I'll entertain, I assume, Mr. Weeprick, if you can tell me, are we looking for an approval of this proposal to send it out for bid?
No, this
No, I'm sorry.
is the proposal from CDM Smith to complete the engineering services
To
design
complete.
work for the park.
Very good. Thank you, sir, for clarifying. So I'll be seeking a motion to approve contracting with CDM Smith for the engineering of Ballinger Park.
So moved.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to contract with CDM Smith to engineer the Ballinger Park project. Is there any discussion on that topic?
No, sir.
Very good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. Very good. All right, and finally, under new business, we have something sponsored by Councilman Vigliotti for a one-year trial of parking passes for our downtown. Councilman Vigliotti, do you have anything you want to add before we seek a motion?
Sure. Just two very brief things. First of all, there was a question that you had posed about whether or not the parking passes would be better as 2 per sheet or 3 per sheet. So I went ahead and I designed or redesigned them to include 3 per sheet. And if anybody wants to look at these. And then the other thing was specifically a question about whether or not the year extension of the holiday program would include the free weekend parking or not.
Well, the weekend parking is free anyway.
Well, it's
Well,
for the purpose of the trial that you would not need the pass on the weekends.
I say that's correct,
Okay.
because nothing's enforced on the weekends anyway, since they're free. So the passes would be unnecessary at that point.
So, and I guess, I'm sorry, that was 3 points. So the other thing is, are we ready to move ahead with that this month to implement this coming month? Or do we want to give the city staff a couple of weeks to work out details as had previously been considered?
Well, I think we can kind of punt that question over to Mr. Weeprick. Do you feel city staff needs any time to go over logistics of this?
I think that would be helpful.
Okay. About how much time would you desire for them to do so? Do you want to aim for April, or is March
I think April would be,
kind of
more
kick off the
realistic.
spring with, okay. So the suggestion from staff is that it kick off, we'll say April 1st. Is that acceptable, Councilman Vigliotti?
That's more than acceptable, absolutely.
Very good. In that case, I will entertain a motion to approve the one-year trial of parking passes, essentially as presented with the target date of April 1st.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All right, lots of seconds going around here. It's been moved and seconded to approve the one-year trial of parking passes for downtown. Is there any discussion from council regarding?
I just want to very briefly say thank you to everybody. Between the original discussion that we had about the holiday pilot back during November and then the discussions that we've had leading up to this, every single person on this body, from the mayor to the council to city staff, has had input on this. And this really is a community, municipal effort, so to speak. And, all of you have been invaluable to this. And I think it is both a blessing and a sign of our ability to work together to do something like this. And all of you deserve to be congratulated for the work that you put into this.
Thank you. Hopefully it passes the vote. We'll find out in a minute. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Very good. That shall be implemented. All right. I will move into council member reports, starting with Councilman Haynes. What do you have for us this evening, sir?
I have nothing to report from Public Works. However, the CC
RC will be meeting this Thursday to discuss line extensions and finalizing the audit of Comcast. Nothing too exciting, but I'll have more to report next month after that meeting concludes. But that's all from me.
Very good, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Hale, what do you have for us this evening?
A few things, sir. This Saturday at 10 a.m. down at the St. Joe's Catholic Church, there's going to be an event for Black History Month to celebrate African American Civil War veterans. It's pretty neat. There are quite a number of gentlemen there that are from or came to this area and were interred at St. Joe's. So please come out if you can. Saturday at 10 a.m. at St. Joe's. There's going to be a full color guard there, the 21-gun salute, and a bugler. For those of you that don't know, buglers are it's a dying art. And a lot of times when you go to these ceremonies, it's canned music. I had a backup for a trumpet just in case, but I think we found one. So that'd be a very nice event. Lorena is here in the audience. Lorena Vaquer, if you haven't met her, please say hi to her before she leaves. Doing an outstanding job. We're a lot of great news in Parks and Recs. Basically, Lorena's building the entire structure, around whatever advice or recommendations we have, the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, TAA. It's an open book, so bear with us. There'll be some bumps in the road, but it's getting there. And that's all I have, sir.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. Mayor Pro Tem Foster, you have anything for us this evening?
Yes, first of all, the networking breakfast has been moved to April 3rd, since Good Friday is April 10th.
Okay, so the
So
April
that would be
breakfast.
a week
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
Also, Klinger's Natural General Food Store is scheduled to open later this month. It would be greatly appreciated if we would patronize our latest business. And economic development is, we met with Burke to see what we could do in town to incentivize businesses to recruit.
Right.
So they're coming here, visiting with different businesses, and we'll go from there.
Great. All right, Councilman Vigliotti, what do you have for us this evening?
Just a few very brief things for the police departmental report for January 2020. The total number of dispatched or generated calls for service was 542. The total number of citations issued, state, city, and repair orders numbered 201. The total number of warnings issued were 144. The total number of adult arrests were 19, and the total number of juvenile arrests were 1. So you probably noticed that the number of dispatcher-generated calls for service was very, very high, 542. And the reason why the chief was explaining to me this afternoon that we are increasing our presence and we are expanding the scope of reporting. So for example, now even when officers are asked for directions or somebody comes in with a question to the station, these are all things that are being recorded as a part of the continued realignment and improving of the department to make sure there's a better record of things. And so you'll see those numbers continue to be high. In terms of good news from the department, all three of the new recruits are doing well in the academy. The lowest average grade between them is an 88, and they're on track to graduate this summer. And finally, in terms of community outreach, the police department is continuing to partner with City Council for this year's Relay for Life. A fundraising event involving both the city and the department at Dunkin' Donuts is being planned hopefully for April, so I'll have details on that soon. And I will be sending out reminder emails again to everybody about signing up for our team. That goes for anybody on staff as well, and your friends and your family. We want to make sure we have a big showing again this year. And that's it from me tonight.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Fuller, what do you have for us this
Nothing new
evening?
on Planning Commission. The Christmas stuff at the park is still in the pavilion, and as soon as the rain stops for 5 seconds, I will be able to get it out of there and back over into storage. So if everybody can be patient as far as that's concerned. But I think that is it.
No problem. It's only February. There's no rush.
I know. It's hard. I'm doing it all by myself.
I know you do. Talk about just a couple of things briefly. Last week I attended the Maryland Mayors Association Conference in Annapolis. It was a really nice couple of days, some seminars, some educational aspects. Mr. Gullo was there leading a workshop of sorts for mayors to better understand the forms of government in the state. We spent some time at the Senate building as well as the House, meeting with our delegations, seeing how things are working there and kind of pushing for legislative priorities for MML, which at the same time are for municipalities as a whole. We had a nice evening Thursday at the governor's mansion for a reception. Beautiful residents. Governor Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Rutherford were amazing hosts. They're big advocates for municipalities in the state, so it was great to be in the presence of those people and kind of hear some of their encouragement as well. Last month, Mayor Pro Tem Foster and I attended the Silver Oak Academy Martin Luther King Jr. ceremony, something to do every year. It's my second year of attending, and really nice event, kind of commemorating the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They had some outstanding speakers, kind of motivational, especially for the students of Silver Oak, to kind of get them an uplift of where they can go based on where they are now and what they've seen and experienced. It was an amazing evening. It was an absolute pleasure to be a part of that ceremony. Also, on another note, obviously most people are aware Friday morning in Carroll County, weather took a hit on several places. I know when I was down in Annapolis with Mayor Rupp and Mayor Jones from New Windsor and Union Bridge respectively, phones were blowing up, getting updates of what was happening up here. On that note, I would like to make sure that we kind of revisit our emergency preparedness plan. That way, any changes we've had in staff or administration, whatever it is, everyone's on the same page of what to do if by chance an F1 tornado came through Taneytown. And obviously it happened just 10 miles down the road, so there's nothing saying that it can't happen here. So just something that's a good thing to revisit from time to time, and I think now is a good reminder to do so. That's everything I have for the evening. So prior to adjournment, I will direct you to the agenda that after this meeting, the City Council and myself will be meeting in administrative session to discuss delegation of duties to city staff. So after we adjourn, there will be a short recess before we then reconvene to have that discussion. With that, I will seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Very good. We will reconvene in administrative session at 8 o'clock. That gives us 12 minutes. Thank you.